Hey everybody, welcome back to the Frugal Filmmaker Q&A. That's the show where you send me a question and I try to answer it. It is Trivia Monday, which means there'll be a special trivia question at the end of the show and a prize to win, so stay tuned for that. If you'd like a question read on the show, please send me an email to frugalfilmmaker@gmail.com. That's your best chance of having it read on the show. You can also leave a comment below or send me a message on Twitter @frugalfilmmaker. My video last week was all about using the free Windows snipping tool. It's a tool built right into the Windows operating system that a lot of people don't know about. You can actually use for screen grabs or cutting sections out of your screen grabs really easily. I use them for the lower thirds. You'll see in this video clips from emails and YouTube comments and things like that. So if you're interested in how to use that, it's really quick and easy and free. Check out that video. My first question comes from last week's Q&A, which if you recall, I was actually sitting down in this garden-esque sort of environment here because this is my temporary stop in Utah before I'm going to Alaska. And I was actually sitting down and the shot was a little bit wider. I'm not doing that this week because I didn't think it was that flattering of a shot, and considering that this is watered quite a bit by an automatic sprinkler system, the ground that chair was in was actually sinking. So when I tried to do that today, I just sank. So I couldn't do it. But here I am standing up. I think it's actually a much more attractive shot. So the first question is about this shot from Jeffrey Brown, who asks, was this shot on a green screen? Now, I assure you this is not a green screen shot. I'm not a huge fan of green screen shots, as many of you know. This is actually a real background. You can see right here. It's not going anywhere. It's not a green cloth. It's not a chroma key. It's actually a real location, and I'm going to prove it to you. Ta-da! Real. Now I'm totally out of breath. The air's thinner here in Utah, you know. Our next question comes from the same Q&A from Mick Scarborough, who says, isn't it going to be much harder to be a filmmaker in Alaska? Well, the short answer is yes, of course, because I don't know anybody there. There's no film community. There's no arts program in any of the local schools. I'm pretty sure there's no one there shooting video right now except for that one guy my wife found shooting using a drone. So it will be kind of interesting to see what kind of cast and crew I can find and work with and develop. But yeah, it's going to be much harder, definitely. That's not exactly why I'm going there. I'm going there just out of financial situations and things like that. But I believe that anywhere you go can be a great opportunity as a filmmaker because you can always find people and places and things to shoot and to do and to create some really interesting, unusual products that you couldn't do anywhere else. So I'm excited about that. Definitely, it's going to be a challenge. And so let's hope it works out. Hopefully you'll see exactly what I'm doing because I will put everything on my channel that I am doing, including whatever short films I can make up there and any behind the scenes stuff. So you get a kind of a glimpse about how it's going to work for me if it works. But you'll be there to see, so stay tuned. The next question comes from email from Samuel Leitonen, who says, do you need to go to film school? This is a question I've had before and I've addressed in the past. There's a lot of people out there, very hardcore on both sides. Typically what the response is that if you want great networking opportunities, you go to film school. You want great equipment access, you go to film school. You want mandatory project deadlines and things that you have to do to develop your skills, go to film school. And there are other people that are hardcore, don't go, it's a waste of money, you can get better experiences on an actual film set, et cetera, et cetera. So it all depends really on you. What are your opportunities? What do you really want to do? Do you have access to real film sets? Do you have access to a film school? Can you afford a film school? That's always a good question. But I think there are probably several of you out there who have gone down both roads. I went the film school route. I enjoyed it. I thought it was beneficial. Yes, I have a mound of government loan debt coming out as a result of it, but I feel that I'm a better filmmaker. I feel like I know how to run a set better, make a movie better. Are these things you can learn on your own? Yes. Is it more difficult? Yes, it's not. It's a much less structured environment if you're depending on YouTube or videos, things like that. However, if you do work on a film set, you will gain hands-on production experience that you couldn't really gain in film school, or it'll be different. It'll be more in the professional world where film school isn't the professional world. It's kind of a microcosm of what the professional world is kind of like. However, things you don't get on a film set are things about story creation and theory and things like that, although you can always talk to people, and if you're talking to the writer and the director, you can definitely get that kind of information from them. I don't think it's an either-or situation. There's no right or wrong answer. You're going to get everyone's opinion. This is my opinion. You just have to figure out what you want to do and what works best for you. Ask people that are in film school. Ask people that are working on film sets. Compare, contrast, make a decision. But you got to do something. If you don't know what to do, just make your own movie. Just do something. Don't just sit there and wonder what to do. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. Don't waste your own time. Our last question we have is actually quite interesting to me, but it is kind of vague, and it's from Andrew Chase Passanen or Passanen. Sorry if I butchered that, Andrew. I thought about making a horror movie for Halloween this year. Do you have any tips? Well, of course, this is a wide open topic. I mean, you could just as easily ask me, do I have any tips for making a romantic comedy or an action movie or a drama or a Western? But I think the best thing I could probably suggest is that I don't care what you do, make sure that you develop sympathetic characters so when bad things happen to them, we, the audience, care. I'm a huge fan of suspense, not a big fan of gore, but either way, you're still going to have to set up characters that are sympathetic, because if you don't, I don't care what you throw at the screen or the audience, everybody's just going to shrug. Hollywood has this problem too. It's not just short filmmakers with no money. You can have humongous budgets, and if the script doesn't set up characters well, you're going to watch it and be bored. If you're wondering about recent movies that I thought were effective, I mean, I'm a big fan of the classic Halloween from 1978, John Carpenter, a movie that may have set up the slasher genre in some ways, but it's very atypical of the slasher genre, and then it created a sympathetic character, and it was mostly suspense. There was very little blood in that movie, but we were very frightened for Laurie Strode because we cared about her. Another recent example I thought was really good is The Babadook. It's an Australian film that a lot of people said, it wasn't that scary, but it is, and I admit it isn't super scary, but it's really creepy and it's moody, and you feel sympathy for those characters because they feel like real people to you, not just writer's constructs. So my tip to you would be learn about writing a character, or learn how to flesh out a character, experiment, give them attributes, give them traits, make them interesting, make them people that you would want to follow, watch, relate to, etc. That's my best advice. Okay, so it is Trivia Monday, and at stake is another copy of the Frugal Filmmaker short film idea deck. It's a deck of cards that will let you randomly kind of generate a story and populate it with characters. Hopefully it can help you in making your own short films or short stories, or long films or long stories. At any rate, that's the prize, and the question is, what is my favorite sound recorder, or what is the sound recorder that I use most often? I talk about all the time on this show and on other shows that I've done, and you're probably very familiar with it. So if you know what it is, please send me an email to frugalfilmmaker@gmail.com, and if you're the first one with the correct answer, you will win a copy of the short film idea deck. Remember, there are no repeat winners in the Trivia Monday contest, so if you won in the past, don't apply because you won't win again twice. You've already got a copy of the deck. Why would you want another one? Anyway, that's the question. That's the prize. Good luck. All right, that's all the questions we have for today. If you like your question read on the show, please send me an email to frugalfilmmaker@gmail.com. That's your best chance of having it read on the show. You can also leave a comment below. I could pull it from there, or send me a message on Twitter @frugalfilmmaker. All right, so we'll have another video this coming Thursday or Friday, hopefully not Saturday, and then another Q&A on Monday. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.